It was the British slave trade that created the first English pigeon. The ships that left Britain for West Africa spread English pigeons and Creoles to the slave plantations of the New World, returning home laden with rum and molasses, creating the wealth of ports like Bristol. Bristol's splendid Regency crescents are a gleaming reminder of the city's prosperous slaving past. And just outside the city is the grave of a young African who would probably have known pidgin. Pidgin is one of those loaded words like dialect and Creole we've inherited to describe non-standard forms of English. Of course, when you come to think of it, English is a kind of Creole, a hybrid of Latin, Anglo-Saxon, Danish, and Norman French. The slave trade created several varieties of what we now call Black English, a scattered family that includes an emerging British Black English, Caribbean Creole, Southern Black English, and African English. Up and down the rivers of West Africa, Pidgin English has been a language of trade ever since the first contact with British ships. In Africa today, they still use Pidgin for everyday communication. An expert in African pidgins is Professor J.L. Dillard.
Many people think of pidgin especially as being an unfavorable term, and they think maybe in terms of meet Tarzan, you Jane. Every pidgin speaker has another language. In many cases, people who speak pidgin languages speak several other languages very well and very fluently. A West African who speaks pidgin English to another West African is not acknowledging the superiority of an Englishman or anything like that. It's his to do with the way he wants, and as long as he can make sense with it, he feels perfectly happy. The name for the pidgin around the world is talkie-talkie, talk-talk. It ain't no language, we just talk it.
Freetown, Sierra Leone. Here, the national language, Creole, is an English Creole spoken by everyone, including the president.
The use of English, both at home here and internationally, it will be very good for Sierra Leone, and that's why we are practicing it. And the use of Creole locally, just as good.
Creole is the language of the street. Like many of his people, President Siaka Stevens switches easily from standard English to Creole, depending on the situation.
Hey, stop!
Stevens recently resigned, but as president, he liked to buy fresh fish from the seashore on his way home from work. And Creole is always the language of negotiation.
What did I want, sir?
I come there thrice a week, and I enjoy the bit of haggling and exchange.
When I'm 50, but 30 years, now 5 years you pay, sir.
50 last, if you take the 50 last.
How much you pay, sir? Fancy, sir. All this not us.
No, I don't want that. Where are you?
Yes, sir.
Well, where this, sir?
I buy fish there now and again because it's quite fresh. That's the beauty. And take it home. Well, they try to charge me a little extra because they say I'm president.
Creole is part of a family of African Creoles. Brought here by trade, Creole is being spread by trade. Olive Coker teaches English, but uses Creole in the marketplace. It includes universal pidgin words like savvy and pickaninny.
Most of the communication in the market is in Creole. You can get things cheaper just by being nice to them, talking and begging most of the time. How much the pepper?
Pepper, 20 cents.
So I think I will see one bill. Where you make the pepper dear so?
Oh, bandia, so they sell a ban cheap, just get for sell and cheap. Oh, bandia, just get for sell and cheap.
One is smaller.
Well, I buy, I know what's surprise for me.
Put small, may I see?
So for B2 loan, but give one place.
Oh, yes.
Part of Shakespeare and the Bible have been translated into Creole. Its unique spelling conventions have recently been codified in a Creole English dictionary. The Dr. Johnson of Creole is Professor Eldred Jones.
The word for house is os. Shoe is sus. Trousers would be torsis. Eye would be yai. Ear, that would be yes. Nose would be nos. Mouth would be mot. Stomach would be belly. There are a number of English-related pidgins and creolized languages all the way down the west coast of Africa, in the Caribbean, in parts of North America, which are, with a certain amount of adjustment, mutually intelligible, because they were developed by speakers who originally spoke African languages and who then came in contact with English. And so they tended to make the same kinds of adjustment to their speech.
This na Freetown. Na Theodore Dugan they read the use. President Shaka Stevens left State House na Freetown today for go work na Monrovia, when at the capital for Liberia. Before he left, the president, where he talk to pressman them, say he hope say this patrol where they go help for make the trading business and the friendship where they between Salone and Liberia go before. From now till this same time tomorrow, the place go warm little bit.